So when a country's really starting to grow, it hits this massive crossroads. Do you pour your money into concrete and steel, the big shiny projects? Or do you invest in people, in their minds and their skills? Today, we're digging into how Cambodia is trying to solve that exact puzzle, finding that tricky balance between building its physical future and empowering its citizens for what's next.
All right, let's kick things off with a really powerful quote from the top. Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Manet lays it all out here. What this tells us is that while giant construction projects might get all the attention, the real long-term win is in developing people. This isn't just some nice idea. He's framing it as absolutely essential for the country's industrial future.
So what's the setting for all this? Well, it's a huge meeting over in China. You've got Cambodia's new leadership sitting down with a major global player, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. You'll hear it called the AIIB. Think of them as a massive development bank that funds huge projects all across Asia.
At the table, you've got two main people driving this conversation. First, Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Manet, the guy who's charting the course for his country. And across from him, you have Jin Lequien, the president of the AIIB, the man who heads the bank with the checkbook. So you have the leader of a nation with a vision and the head of a bank with the funds to make it happen. It's a pretty high-stakes meeting.
Okay, so what did the AIIB, this giant infrastructure bank, bring to the table? Now, you might be thinking they'd be all about roads, bridges, and ports. But interestingly enough, their focus was on something a little different.
And the wording here is key. The bank specifically zeroed in on what they call social infrastructure and got even more specific, highlighting the modern education sector. This is a big deal. It shows they're not just looking to fund physical things, but they see a real opportunity in helping Cambodia build up the systems that support its people. And just so we're all on the same page, what is social infrastructure? Well, think of it as the bedrock of a community's well-being. We're talking about the schools, the universities, the hospitals, all the things that make up the backbone of a healthy, smart, and skilled society. And that is what the AIIB wants to put its money into.
So how does Cambodia take this offer? They don't just jump at it. Instead, they come back with their own big-picture vision, a strategy that's all about juggling two massive priorities at the very same time.
And this is the critical part. While the Prime Minister welcomed the bank's interest, he made one thing crystal clear. For his government, hard infrastructure, those massive physical projects, is still priority number one. They see it as the engine that gets the economy humming right now.
And we're not just talking about ideas here. This is real stuff, like building a brand new international airport and the super ambitious Funan Techo Canal project. For both of these, the goal is pretty straightforward: to completely supercharge Cambodia's industry and its ability to move goods.
This slide really lays out the balancing act perfectly. On one side of the ledger, you've got the hard infrastructure, airports, canals, as the top national priority, the thing that drives immediate growth. But on the other side, you've got human capital, education, job training, as that essential long-term investment for a skilled population. They're not choosing one or the other. They're trying to do both at once.
So you have a bank that's really focused on social projects, and a country that's doubling down on hard infrastructure. That sounds like a potential mismatch, right? So how do you possibly bridge that gap? Well, the answer turns out to be all about collaboration and finding a way for both of those visions to actually work together. So this meeting didn't just end in a stalemate. Far from it. It actually ended with an open invitation. The Prime Minister basically said, "Great, come work directly with our ministries on the ground." The idea is to find real, practical projects where the bank's goals and the country's wider strategy can meet in the middle.
Let's just break down how this is going to work. There's actually a pretty clear path forward. Step 1, the AIIB tables its focus on social infrastructure. Step 2, Cambodia lays out its own two-track vision for development. And the final, most important step is that they agree to team up at the ministry level to find projects that actually serve both of those goals. So when you zoom out, what does all of this really mean? This isn't just about one deal or one meeting. It's a perfect snapshot of a challenge that so many growing countries face. This incredibly high-stakes balancing act that's going to shape what Cambodia looks like for decades.
At the end of the day, it all boils down to this single question. How do you fire up your economy today with these big job-creating projects, while also making that patient, long-term investment in your people that will keep that fire going for generations? This partnership between Cambodia and the AIIB is a fascinating, real-world attempt to find that perfect sweet spot.
And that leaves us with this one big question that honestly applies way beyond Cambodia. As any nation grows and changes, how does it manage this core tension between building things for today and investing in the people who will define tomorrow? It's a huge question, there's no easy answer, but it's one that every single leader has to grapple with.